Good afternoon, everybody. This isn't the Arsenal show, by the way. Sorry about that, but I'm sure all you Arsenal supporters out there enjoyed that. But look, this is the Transfer Exchange show, and today it's just me and you. We're going to have a little bit of alone time. No one else in the building, no one else in the house. Nathan and Kieran not here. Just me and you and our cups of tea. And what we're going to do today, we're going to go through the Champions League. We're going to have a little look at what happened last night. We're going to look at the games of today. Some massive games for tonight, especially for teams like Manchester United and Chelsea. They're involved. Massive games, especially for Manchester United. But look, what we're going to do, we're going to start with last night. I mean, it's after a long, lengthy break, an international break that's just seemed to have gone on for ages, didn't they? They just never seem to stop. But look, we had the Premiership the weekend. For some fantastic games there, but look, Champions League is back in town, and that's what we're going to concentrate on for this afternoon. I mean, last night, look, there was some fantastic games last night, wasn't there? Some real quality on show. There was the thrillers with Liverpool. You had the big guns, Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool's opponents of last night, Atletico Madrid. I mean, what a fantastic game that was. We had RB Leipzig, who really, quite a surprise to everyone, really. I mean, they're sitting at the bottom of their group at the moment. They have no points at all. A real surprise. So we're going to go all through that. We're going to concentrate on maybe a couple of games a little bit more in depthly than others. But firstly, what we're going to do, we're going to start off with last night's games. And one of the games that a team that didn't find no problems was Manchester City. They took on Club Brugge and they put away their defeat against Paris Saint-Germain, literally, well, in style, didn't they? I mean, they just strolled around Bruges and just literally played them off the park. I mean, John Keller gave the visitors they gave them their early lead, and then Mahrez scored, and he doubled it from the spot just before from half time. We had Kyle Walker came on as a substitute, and then you had the youngster Cole Palmer. He came on, finished off superbly from moves after the break before Bruges had a consolation goal through Hans Vakkanen. And it was just that, just a consolation because Bruges wasn't in the game. Man City, they made it look easy. They got that game against PSG, off their minds. So they can go on until the next one. They're sitting second now in that group behind PSG by 1 point. It's not fully, sort of sorted that group. It's a close group, even though they got pretty well hammered, Bruges. They're still in with a shout. They're just 2 points behind Man City. The big surprise is RB Leipzig. To be fair to them, they did quite well last night, playing Paris Saint-Germain and losing by 3-2. But it's the defeat has left them sitting at the bottom of the group, and the German side they certainly will be struggling, even to make it into the Europa League at the halfway stage. Lionel Messi was Lionel Messi. He scored an absolutely fantastic goal. To help him, he got 2 goals, didn't he, actually? Yeah, he got 2. Yeah, he's certainly starting his PSG form, flying, isn't he? But RB Leipzig, bottom of the group, PSG top of the group, 1 point in front of Manchester City. But look, RB Leipzig, they didn't do bad, did they? I mean, they had a fantastic start. I mean, they took an early lead in the 10th minute. No, it was PSG, wasn't it? Get is very difficult. So many games last night. Kylian Mbappe scoring the goal, finish it off from a sweeper counter attack, and then you had a guy who I admire a lot, Andre Silva, who came from Eintracht Frankfurt, a prolific goal scorer. A strange move for me for Andre Silva, going from Eintracht Frankfurt to RB Leipzig. He's a player that I thought is suited to the Premiership. I thought a big club in the top 6 would easily grab him up, but RB Leipzig got their man. He was the one that levelled up after Kylian Mbappe had given the lead. But then PSG just went on, and they went up, and they took the lead, and Messi sort of stole the show. And then Mbappe at the end, he could have added a fourth, but he just he should have scored it, and he was a sitter, and he just whacked it over the bar, and it was. To be fair, I mean, if it was anybody else, we'd be saying it was poor from Mbappe, and it was poor from Mbappe. But look, they won it. They won it was 2-1, and it leaves them 1 point at the top of the group. Lead at the top of the group, so it's where you want to be at the halfway stage. And then what a game we had in Madrid. What a game we had in Madrid. But Liverpool made to work. I mean, is that surprising? No, it's not surprising, is it? When you're playing a side like Atletico Madrid, they are going to make you work. We're used to seeing them Diego Simeone's side, but yeah, I mean, it was an incredible performance from Liverpool. And from that man again, Mohamed Salah, he opened the scoring, and he scored the one at the end. The Egyptian, he gave the Reds the 8th minute lead before Naby Keita's super volley. I mean, that was an incredible goal, and that put them 2 up. Antonio Griezmann secured the first half, and he levelled the scores. But and then there was the sending off, and for the challenge on Roberto Firmino. But yeah, they were fantastic, Liverpool, and they totally deserved to win that game. Obviously, after the game, there was a little bit of afters between Jurgen Klopp and Diego Simeone. He refused to shake Klopp's hand. Bit silly. Diego Simeone, when asked after the game, why didn't you shake Klopp's hand? He said that he doesn't normally shake hands with any managers. Well, I've seen him shake hands with any managers. I just thought Klopp and Liverpool sort of got the better of him. There was this little thing with Klopp saying that he didn't agree with the way Madrid played. Well, we all know how Madrid play. Is it a shock to Jurgen Klopp the way Atletico Madrid plays? I don't think so. So I think really Klopp should have just kept quiet and just got on. Then there was Porto versus Milan, a 1-0 win for Porto. Milan they slipped there. It was a costly defeat away to Porto, leaving them pointless in Group B with 3 consecutive defeats. I mean, that is. Again, like RB Leipzig, that is a shock to see after 3 games. The giants from Italy, Milan, at bottom of the group with no points, but that's where they are. And again, they're going to be struggle to make in the European Europa League places at the moment. As for Liverpool, they're home and dry. Really, they've got 9 points, and the Atletico Madrid second in 4th. So. To me, they look like they've got that group shown up. Another game you had last night, you had Besiktas 1 and you had Sporting Lisbon 4. Thumping victory for Sporting Lisbon. this was sort of best remembered by the neutrals for a stunning disallowed goal. I mean, if you haven't seen it, people, please go and watch it. The player Bectises Alex Teixeira produced an incredible collapsing volley from an angle in the first half stoppage time, only to see it ruled out for the offside rule. Incredible! You've got to go and watch it if you haven't already seen it. But by then, Sporting were already 3-1 up at the time for a goal from Pablo Sarabi and a penalty, headed brace from Sebastian Coates, who's someone who's taken a lot of plaudits from the Premiership at the moment. Before Polino added a fourth in the last minute, and so. Yeah, again, Besiktas struggling in their group. They are bottom on group on no points, and Sporting not far off. It was their first win so far, and they're on 3 points. So yeah, again at halfway stage, those two clubs pretty much struggling. I mean, this was the result of the night for me. I thought it was absolutely a fantastic result. Ajax versus Borussia Dortmund. Probably the biggest surprise for me on match day 3. 4-0 to Ajax, credible performance, an absolutely thumping victory, and to be quite truthful, I was watching the highlights. I mean, and it could have been more. It could have been a lot more. Things were off to a terrible start for Dortmund with. Marco Reus putting through his own net early before Daley Blind. He thumped home a second shortly afterwards. Anthony produced a fine finish to make it 3. And Sebastian Haller, remember Sebastian Haller from West Ham? He got a goal of his own with an header in the 18th minute from time. And, that provided, he also provided 2 assists in that game as well. So, yeah, an excellent victory for Ajax. And, as I say, quite a shock. I mean, but it doesn't put Dortmund out of this. They're sitting in second now with 6 points, just behind Ajax in 3. So still a little way to go. And Sporting, as I say, they're on 3, so they're still not out of the question. Dortmund are going to have to buck their ideas up, though. They're going to have to perform better than what they did last night. That's for sure. And then we've got Real Madrid versus Shakhtar Danesque. Real Madrid getting back to their winning ways after their, shock defeat of the tournament so far. I think by Sheriff. They thumped Shakhtar Donetsk 5-0. Real Madrid bounced back is an understatement, didn't from that defeat by Sheriff. In their previous Champions League outing, but you couldn't get it in more. What's the word? The more emphatic possible, could you? Than a 5-0 win away from home in a very difficult place. It was another own goal. It seemed to be the story of own goals last night. That was the one that opened up the scoring before Vinicius Junior. I mean, he scored 2 goals. For Madrid with Rodrigo and Karim Benzema, and they sealed that victory for Carlo Ancelotti, and they move on. They're sort of recovering from that start, and now they're sitting with 6 points, just behind Sheriff due to the fact that they lost that game last week. So the final game of last night was Inter Milan. And they actually played Sheriff, and Inter won 3-1. Inter didn't look too at the beginning. They looked a bit shaky, and you was wondering whether there was something. Could there be another shock on the cards? But that wasn't to come. They got the 3 points against Sheriff. The hosts, and they led at the break, and thanks to a wonderful follow from Edin Dzeko. I mean, this guy just seems to keep going on and on and on. I mean, he's an absolute incredible goal scorer. But then they pegged them back, and this is where the worry started coming in, and you started to wonder. Sebastian Frill whipped home an absolutely incredible free kick from round about 30 yards. And then the Nisisuri, I mean, they were starting to worry, but they responded well though, and 2 goals in 10 minutes went on for them to win the game. First was from a Toro video, and then the second one was from new signing Denzel Dumfries, who's an excellent player and an excellent signing. Tonight, we're just going to quickly just go through a couple of games. First one is Manchester United versus Atlanta. This game will be a lot more talked about in depth, I dare say, at the post-match. And if you want to watch the preview for the Man United Atlanta game, you can find that now on KS1 TV. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe, please. Thank you. But it's a massive game for them tonight. It's a must-win. It is an absolute must-win for Manchester United. They're sitting in third place at the moment. They're 1 point behind Atlanta and on the same points as Young Boys after that disastrous result that they had there. So, this is a must-win result tonight. Ollie under pressure. If they was to lose this, I'd say it was a bit worrying for him, and also a bit worrying for Manchester United's Champions League, thing this season. So big game for them. Big game for them tonight. You've also got Barcelona versus Dino Makiev. Barcelona Champions League campaign disastrous so far, with Ronald Koeman's side just with like back-to-back 3-0 defeats. I mean, against Bayern Munich and Benfica. If they lose again to Dynamo Kiev tonight, then they face a seriously tricky time. Crashing out in the group stages at the beginning, and if Ronald Koeman's job isn't already being called into question, I think if he was to not get a win tonight or lose this game tonight, I think the Spanish papers maybe already have the headlines written, and Mr. Koeman could be on his way. But it's going to be difficult. Dynamo Kiev, they are a good side, but Barcelona's sitting bottom of the group at the moment. I mean, if we're saying Manchester United is a must-win, then Barcelona is a doubly must-win for them. So Manchester United, Barcelona, massive games, massive clubs, 2 of the world's biggest clubs, with on the edge of going out of the Champions League tonight. It more than likely looks like. Benfica have got Bayern Munich tonight as well. Bayern Munich sitting on 6 points. After 2 wins, Benfica sitting just behind them. Shouldn't be taken lightly. Bayern definitely shouldn't be taking this game lightly. They want to keep their dominant start to the Champions League journey going. They travel to Portugal to play Benfica. Julian Nagelsmann's side, I mean, they've bagged 8 goals so far, and yet to concede a goal. And and they're 2 European games, and look, they're strong favourites to go for it. And possibly at the end of this, it could end up the winners of the competition. But I mean, I would say that Bayern are pretty much nailed on to win that game tonight, and nailed on to win that group. And also we've got you've got Young Boys and Villarreal in the same group as Manchester United tonight. Manchester United really can't look at that game. They've just got to sort of look after themselves. But we're going to have a quick look. Unai Emery, Villarreal travels to Switzerland to play Young Boys. It's not going to be easy. They're sitting at the bottom of the group at the moment on 1 point. It's a must win for them. Emery's side, they're winless after drawing with Atlanta and losing to Manchester United late on. The pressure's on them. They need a win tonight, and they need to get that against Young Boys. Young Boys sitting with 3 points, 1 point behind Atlanta tonight at the moment. So, they're ticking along nicely. But another big match, big game for Villarreal. We've also got Salzburg versus Wolfsburg. That's a game that again Wolfsburg could do with winning. Salzburg having a good start, sitting at the top with 4 points. Then you've got Lille versus Seville in the same group. Again, very tight that group. There's only 2 games obviously been played. The third one tonight, so very tight that one. Lille surprisingly won the Liga 1 last season ahead of PSG, but then respectively lost their manager Christopher Goldsey to Nice. Things ain't going great. They're not going great under their new boss, Jocelyn Gulevetnek, if I pronounced that right. And their poor form has carried into Europe. Normally, sometimes your form you sort of can change. You can come away from your league form and go into Europe or a cup competition and for a break, and you can find a different type of way of playing, and you can have a bit more confidence. But they haven't done that, and as like I said just then, they've taken their bad form into the Champions League as well. So they need a win, and against Seville, especially where Lille's at home. Last 2 games, we've got Chelsea, got Malmo. Chelsea, got beaten by Juventus. No shame in that. They champions of Europe. I mean, they should be going through on this group. But they want to win the group. They want to win this group. It's important to win the group in the Champions League, and that defeat against Juventus is something that they're going to have to turn around when they play them next time in the second game against them, so they can get that chance and to go through as group winners. And Malmo sitting at the bottom of the group with no points. I'm expecting a convincing win for Chelsea. And then finally, our final game we got is the Zenit St. Petersburg versus Juventus. Juventus will be looking to win. Zenit, good side. Zenit, they're not a bad side. But they'll be going there, Juventus, to the Gazprom Arena, and they're one of those opposing teams who relish, but playing the big side, and obviously Juventus are that big side, and it's going to be a very, very sort of hostile atmosphere there, and you never know. It will be tough. It will be tough for Juventus. I think they'll just nick it, but it will certainly be a tough game. So, so a lot to look forward to tonight. There will be the post match of the Manchester United versus Atalanta game, and so make sure you tune into that with Kieran and Nathan. Let's hope that Nathan's smiling. It's a massive match, but they will be back straight after the game with obviously their views on the game and the ratings program. But anyway, until then, thanks very much for joining me this afternoon. Enjoyed doing this, and until I see you again next time, peace out, stay safe, wash your hands.